We just took a look around the outside of this house to see what it takes to get started in a custom home build. Now we're going to go take a look at the inside, and you've got to see the view from the kitchen. It's unbelievable. This is our tour guide, Adam Connett. He works for a custom home builder.
How's it
And
going?
this home is in the foothills of the Denver area, just west in the foothills, not too far from the Littleton area. And he's going to show us a tour of the inside of this house.
Yeah. So before we get going on the inside, a couple of neat things I wanted to show you at the front of the house. Um, this is one of my favorite parts of the house, the entryway. It's obviously not done yet, but it's going to be super cool just the way that it was designed. This is going to be a Scandinavian farmhouse style home. And with the no overhangs, the really slick and sort of modern look and materials, the entryway is one of my favorite spots, and I can't wait till we get that done and can start using the front door. Something else here, you're going to have to use your imagination a little bit, but this was an add-on that we did. This is going to be a conservatory. So this is outside of the entire envelope of the house. But this foundation that we built here is going to house a steel and glass structure. It's basically going to be a greenhouse that's attached to the home, front and center. It's going to be a super cool element to the house that's going to be accessible through this door in the front hallway. But you guys will have to come back and check that out when it's done. So front door is currently out of commission, so we're going to have to go in through the garage and the owner's entry. We've got a really, really good sized garage here. 3 parking bays at the front. We also have the shop space in the back with 2 more garage doors. Yeah, a ton of room. I think our plan is to do a gym. There's going to be some kind of workshop, workbench type spaces. The owner's got a tractor that he's going to keep in here. So come on in. This is the owner's entry. The plan here is, cubbies, a huge drop zone to be able to put your shoes, your coats, everything as you come into the house and you're trying to shed the day and get into your home. And then out back here, back door out to our pool area. Again, it requires a bit of imagination right now, but we're going to have a huge outdoor living space, a heated patio, a giant pool. Great for hanging out and enjoying the view. It's a view that's hard to beat right there. So as we walk through, we've got, this house was a truly custom build. The design was done for the homeowners with a lot of specific elements that they wanted. So we've got a few different office spaces. We have a loft apartment. This is one of the office spaces. One of the neat things that we're doing in this is we're incorporating some soundproof elements into the build. And so, for example, in this office space, to keep it nice and quiet, we're gonna have a suspended double thick drywall assembly on the roof, really similar to the assembly that we're doing downstairs in the movie theater. So you'll have to keep watching to check that out. So as we walk through from the owner's entry into the great room, we've got a back kitchen that's going to have a ton of storage, appliances. It's going to have a fridge, dishwasher, range, everything that you would need to have a really solid prep kitchen. And then in the great room, we've got our main kitchen with an island. It's going to have outstanding appliances, countertop that dies into the windows, which is going to be a really cool detail. With, again, this kind of modern soffit that's going to incorporate all the cabinetry, the fridge, the range hood, and everything into this cool assembly. So, said it once and I'll say it again. It takes a little imagination right now, but you guys will have to come back and check out when we have some finished materials. And
will there be an island here?
Yeah. So we mark out everything on the floor where we're going to have cabinetry. This is going to be an island right where I'm standing. It's going to have an overhang with 5 or 6 bar seats here. And then we've got dining room table that's going to be center right in the middle of the entire great room. So this is the back side of that entryway that I absolutely love. We took and one thing that is really cool about this build is being as involved as we are and having some really cool and great homeowner involvement, we can make some modifications as we go, depending on how things shape up in this build. For example, this entryway, we had this header quite a bit lower, and it felt just sort of closed off. And with all the glass, all these really cool windows that we have, we're trying to capitalize on all the views that we get. And so what we did just on a whim with the homeowner's approval is actually raise the top of that wall and open up the entryway so that you got a better view of this really cool entryway, the steel in the windows, these super custom windows, so that you can enjoy as much of the view and cool architecture as you can. So then we've got our fireplace, huge fireplace. It's going to have a TV. Amazing living space here. Again, a lot of windows, a lot of glass. This fireplace is going to be awesome too. This is going to be wrapped in a micro cement product, and so it's going to look like a giant monolithic poured concrete chimney. So that micro cement element is going to continue throughout the build, with the hearth, the landing, a few of the pieces in the master. So yeah, this is going to be a really neat piece down the road too. At this stage, we're doing a lot of preparations for the finished materials that are going to go up. We've got some beams that are going to go up. They're going to be decorative, but we have to put a bunch of blocking in. They're going to be, I think, 6x6 or 8x8 timber beams hung from the trusses. And so, yeah, this is going to have a really cool kind of Scandinavian farmhouse feel inside. We're also preparing for a ton of, there's going to be a lot of shelving, some really sleek and optimized storage here in this home. And so we're going to have a lot of white oak shelving in these nooks. We also have this shelf wall that I'm really pleased with so far. 32 feet from the very, very top all the way to the bottom of this shelf wall. And everything's customized to what the homeowner wants as far as the sculptures and the art pieces and everything that they are going to be putting in this wall. So we've got combination art display, bookshelves, again, everything. Once this is all drywall wrapped, it's going to be incredibly sleek. So this is our inside of the conservatory. You'll be able to basically pop this door open and walk out onto a floating tile floor with some vegetation. He's got a bunch of planters and trees that are going to go inside there, and it's going to be this big steel and glass structure that's going to keep the open feel of this hallway, but it's going to be a great spot to hang out in the wintertime. This is going to be the primary bedroom. And we've got a couple of really neat elements that we're doing here. We've got a floating bench. So this bench spans 19 feet without touching the ground. So this is going to be covered in micro cement. And it's going to be a very, very cool kind of daybed spot. As we come into the master bath, we've got his and her vanities, his and her closets. We're going to do a flush walk-through shower, which is really cool. So there's a lot of preparation that had to go into making sure that our elevations were correct so that as you walk through the master bedroom, you walk straight into the shower without having to step up or down over a curb. This is going to be a very, very cool bathroom suite. So coming up these stairs, shelves continue. A lot of thought was put into making sure that everything was going to die into and terminate at the windows correctly. Once this is all wrapped in sheetrock, it's going to be a very, very slick and unique feel. So up here we've got some kids' bedrooms. Each one has their own bathroom. We also have an accessory laundry. Again, a lot of amazing views. Some really cool spots to, let's see. So yeah, some amazing views for the kids' bedrooms. We were talking a little bit about the windows. these things are absolutely awesome. So they're very high end. It's a triple pane, super energy efficient. The use of the windows is really cool too. So you can lock them shut. You can basically open them side hinge style, and then if you're just looking for ventilation with security, you can open the top up. So that's a very very slick, very nice windows. So this is our loft space. It's got an office as well as an additional bedroom and a little kitchenette. So we'll have a secondary kitchen with its own, refrigerator, dishwasher, and everything. We've got an outstanding office space over here, and then another bathroom and accessory bedroom here. The other thing I really liked that was kind of not really an afterthought, but an on-the-whim change was a lot of these ceilings were intended to be dropped down and get closer to flat. During the framing process, the homeowner really, really liked the vaulted feel of these areas, and so we left it. I think it's cool. I think it gives it kind of that A-frame vibe. Makes it feel a little bit more mountainy. And then we've got a huge walkout deck to the north. So parapet framed, full walkout deck. We're gonna obviously have railing and decking on here down the road. But just an awesome spot to, hang out and take in the views of the valley. We'll talk again about the windows. I absolutely love the design of all the windows that we got to use on this project. Particularly the peaks and the kind of trapezoidal shapes work really, really well with the house and provide obviously amazing views. So it's an awesome little office space. We also kept some of the similar design to the kitchen soffit here in the office. So just try and carry some of the design elements throughout the build, which was pretty neat. Cool. Now we can head downstairs to maybe one of the most fun part of the houses. Maybe the most fun part of the house is the basement. So one thing about these types of homes that are very different from your standard, tract home or, just a regular build is the scope of all of the trades. And so the different trades that we have in, that being plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. A house of this size and one that's this custom takes a lot of forethought and a lot of coordination between those trades and us as the builder. For example, the electrical scope on this house was quite complex. There's some smart switch systems that the homeowner is going to be using. There's a ton of low volt wiring that had to get run, and so as you can see, just looking throughout the house at all of the electrical that's ran everywhere, that takes a lot of planning, forethought, and coordination to make everything happen. Yeah. So for example, we've got a switch bank here that's going to control, a lot of the lighting throughout the house. And a lot of these switches have to be run to one central location before you run your smart switches. And this is all kind of per the homeowner's request to make sure that the house is set up the way that they want and that the user interface is really smooth. And it's quite different than a typical home that you'd be in. So now as we go downstairs, this is be able to see the very high, we've got a super tall basement, and you'll be able to see all the foundation we were talking about earlier that we had to lay before the house went in. So down here is our rec room. We've got pool table. We've got a little living area. We're gonna have a small kitchen, like a little bar. This is gonna be another spot that we use that soundproof insulation. This is gonna be another spot that we use that sound insulating ceiling assembly, so that when you're having, folks upstairs and downstairs, you're not getting sound traveling in between the great room and the rec room. So we've got an awesome game nook here with a poker table, a TV, some really cool built-in cabinetry. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome spot. We've got a ton of recessed LED lighting that's going to be in this space, so it's going to be very, very cool. Over this way, we have a couple other toys that we get to install. We're going to have a golf simulator down here in the basement, which is really cool. And then kind of a flex space. This is going to be a really neat spot. I've never installed a golf simulator before, so this is going to be a first for me. The sound insulation assembly is going to go on all the walls, the entire ceiling. So you're basically building a room within a room to isolate it from the house and isolate the house from it, because the theater itself is going to be incredibly loud with the sound system that we've got in here. So, this is going to be really neat once it's finished up. All right, so we've got a lot of the trades finishing up here in the house. We're going to be doing insulation and drywall here soon, so make sure you guys come back. We're going to do another walkthrough when we're a little further down the road, and this house is getting closer and closer to finished.
Great. I'm Teresa Wallace with Realty One Group, and this is Adam Connett. Reach out to me if you want more information on this custom home builder and the company. And thanks for checking it out. We'll see you soon.